This meeting is being recorded.
Shahid,
Yes.
do you perhaps just want to call Harish and remind him? Great. So, hi everyone. My name is Shanza. I am the founder and CEO of Ion Ivy. We run not only a college counseling firm, but a company called AcademicQuests, which is dedicated to profile building for high school students, making sure you do the kind of extracurriculars that are needed to get into top universities around the world, and also to give you the best chance of securing those very sought after and highly competitive scholarships. So today I am excited to introduce an excellent program by the name of Lumi Network to all of you. And it will be introduced to you by none other than Mr. Harish Menon, who is joining us today. And I'm really excited to have him here with us, along with his student, Anushka, who is currently taking a break from University of Toronto and in her home city of Dubai, who has graduated from the Lumi program and will be able to talk to you from that perspective. Mr. Harish is a Carnegie Mellon University alumnus and a Vice President International of Lumi Network, and is an award-winning mission-driven leader in a global education management and management consulting who champions access, equity, and excellence in programs that make a transformative difference in people's lives. He led program management, finance, office of the CEO and president initiatives, and international market development at College Board's USA headquarters. He was a founding team member of the College Board India Global Alliance. Yes, people, we're talking about the College Board, SAT. And Harish has managed stakeholders, including CXOs, higher education and K-12 leaders, former Secretary of Education of USA, White House staff, Special Assistant to President of USA for Education and Ministries of Education. Prior to College Board, Harish was a management consultant at Mitchell Madison Group, USA, where he served Fortune 500 multinationals in education, financial services, and manufacturing industries. Apart from education, Harish is deeply interested in the intersection of money, culture, and technology. He is an active investor in digital assets and at times flexes his coding muscles to write smart contracts. Harish is a global citizen, having lived his life in Kenya, India, USA, and has now adopted Dubai, UAE as his home. I could actually go on and on because the CV is so long, but this is a very abbreviated version, and we wanted to focus more on Lumi. So with that, Harish, over to you. Guys, a quick comment for everyone who's listening in. It's going to be roughly a 20-minute presentation from Mr. Harish, followed by a dedicated Q&A session for any questions that you may have. If you have questions as we go along, please feel free to put them in the chat box and we will make sure that we get to everybody's questions. Harish, with that, over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Shanza, and thanks for that kind introduction. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Harish Menon, and I'm the VP at Lumi. And I'm so excited to welcome you all to this presentation about Lumi. Lumi is an AI-assisted entrepreneurship and innovation program for students like yourselves. I'm also joined by Anushka Bhatnagar, a Lumi alumni who went through the Lumi program 4 to 5 years ago. Anushka is now a university student at the University of Toronto. She's also one of our innovation facilitators, which we learn more about during today's presentation. Before I proceed further, Anushka, would you like to share a few words of your introduction?
Yes, thank you so much. My name is Anushka, and I'm currently a third-year undergraduate student at the University of Toronto. I am pursuing a double major in molecular biology, immunology, and population health with a focus on health studies. I have grown up in United Arab Emirates, where I got my high school diploma with an IB in Abu Dhabi. And as stated by Harish, I have actually been part of Lumi about 4 years ago, where when I was in about grade 11, and I worked with a group of members from all around the world to create a solution towards the lack of information of health. And this really helped me with my application processes in university because it was something that I mentioned throughout my personal statements when I was applying to UK and medical universities in Europe as well as Canada. And Lumi is just something that I am really happy with that I did. It really pushed me. And it's also a lot of the content that I covered helped me in my university journey as well, with it being mentioned in a lot of my courses. Thank you.
Thanks, Anushka. And once again, I thank each one of you again so much for taking the time out of your evening hours, especially with the upcoming Eid break, to tune in and learn about the Lumi program. So, let me just dive straight into it. I have a presentation, a few slides that I will walk you through. But just before that, why Lumi? Let me first explain why I joined Lumi as a program. After more than a decade at the College Board, I've met and counseled many students who have gone on to do many school projects, research papers, extracurricular projects, and a variety of other works. And all this is great and does help you build skills. But what I'm increasingly seeing, what colleges and employers are seeking in students are problem-solving skills, skills like creative and analytical thinking, socio-emotional attitudes like curiosity, self-awareness of your local community as well as global issues. Do you demonstrate a sense of lifelong learning? How do you find yourself in situations where resilience needs to be demonstrated, flexibility and adaptability? Are you able to work with a group of people in an agile manner? And as you collaborate with others in a project or whether it's in your job, how effective are you in empathetic as well as active listening to each other? These are sort of the durable skills that colleges and employers are now increasingly looking for in their students. But these skills cannot be learned in a very short period of time. You need time, and I would stipulate that if students get to learn, build, and flex such skills as early as possible, I believe that their academic and career trajectory will be much stronger. And so I see a value while schools and universities are super important in our lives. There is this value of a parallel education, what I call parallel education, where the likes of Lumi fall under, where Lumi kind of checks all these boxes in preparing students such as yourselves to be ready not just for college, but for career and your general life pursuits. So in brief, let me first bring up a presentation document, and I believe I have the rights to share. Anushka, let me know if you can see the slides.
It just says, yes, I can see it now.
You can see it, and
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. So, in brief, Lumi is an AI-assisted entrepreneurship and innovation program designed by Stanford University faculty and former McKinsey leaders. The program is designed for 10 to 25-year-olds to build skills around entrepreneurship, AI, and design while exposing you all to urgent, pressing real-world problems aligned to the UN SDG goals. Students are guided by innovation facilitators, and they collaboratively come up with real, tangible, and in my opinion, highly impactful tech-focused solutions. The program was founded in UK around 4 years ago and has so far delivered to students across 14 countries. So that's sort of like the headliner of the program, and I'm going to walk you through the details of how this program works. But I'm really happy to be partnering with Ion Ivy to be able to bring this program to students such as yourselves. Very briefly, the leadership team behind Lumi. Prashant is a founder and CEO of Lumi. He's an ex-McKinsey leader and has had a very successful track record in the education space as well as in the edtech startup space, with over 23 years of having built over 5 startups. His son, Nikhil Raizada, is the junior co-founder and actually the person who came up with the idea of Lumi. Nikhil is the voice of youth for our company, and he's gone on to create green apps around sustainability as well as financial literacy. Dr. Chris Shen is the co-founder of Lumi. He's the professor at Stanford University that has designed this program. He's a venture capitalist in Silicon Valley and a very modest person who will not admit this, but he is the world-leading design thinking expert. And last but not the least is Lord Henry Bellingham, who recently joined us as our non-executive chairman. And Henry is a British politician. He sits in the House of Lords in UK. And when he heard about Lumi and the impact that we were delivering to students, not just in the UK, but around the world, he approached us and asked how he could help us really bring Lumi to many, many more students around the world. So Lumi is backed by a very strong leadership team with a stellar record in entrepreneurship, technology, education, as well as with governments. But what is Lumi? We call our projects quests. So students basically go through projects, and our projects are called quests. And these projects go through a design thinking led journey. This project is accredited by a Stanford University affiliated institution called Singapore Biodesign. It's a design thinking curriculum where we go through the 4 phases of design thinking. Up to 10 students get grouped together in a cohort to form a large project team. And these students can be within the same age group or across multiple age groups. But these students pair with an innovation facilitator, such as Anushka. And who are these innovation facilitators? These innovation facilitators are master's, PhD students, or highly talented undergrad students who come from top design programs around the world, or professional designers themselves. And the program is structured such that it is 15 live sessions with these innovation facilitators. So it's a virtual program. You can take this program from the comforts of your home. All you need is a laptop, a headphone such as what I'm wearing, and access to Wi-Fi. And with that, you are plugged into the Lumi program, where you get to spend around 15 live sessions, each session lasting 1 to 1.5 hours long. These 15 sessions can be spread across in multiple ways. So we have programs where the 15 sessions are spread across 15 weeks, across 8 weeks, or as short as 1 week, which we call like a hackathon. That's almost implemented from Monday to Friday. In addition to these 15 live sessions, students get to spend almost an equivalent amount of time, which works out to be around 1 to 2 hours every day if it is the hackathon format, or if it is those multiple weeks, it's 1 to 2 hours per week. But during this time, the students get to work on really structured offline work to either complete the work of that day or to prepare for the next set of activities. We are not teachers, and nor do we want to be instructors. So we don't tell students what they should be doing. We follow a highly Socratic approach, a very proven way of working with students, where students come up with the ideas themselves. Because what I have actually at least learned in my experience is, if students work on things that really matter to them the most, then they will really be at it, they will stick to it, and they will be better in a they'll be in a position to better explain it to, whether it is college admission officers who will interview you, or whether you're sitting in front of a potential employer who's interviewing you. So that's sort of the kind of first principles of Lumi, which is to allow the student and provide them with the agency and the platform to identify what problem that they want to solve. Now, these problems could be business problems, social problems, but our most popular topics that students tend to solve are topics linked to the UN SDG goals. So these are topics like sustainable cities, climate change, health, both physical and mental health. And a very recent topic that's rising in popularity is cybersecurity. So we start off with these such broad topics, and then the students, through collaborative discussions amongst each other, try and identify that very specific problem that they really want to solve. And you have the innovation facilitator who will guide you, who will mentor you, and walk you through this design thinking curriculum so that you are really hitting on each of these phases and producing the outputs required after each phase so that you're successful not in just that phase, but moving forward. And what are these four phases? Just very quickly. The first phase is investigation, where you get to investigate a problem and kind of discuss amongst each other what that problem is and how do you sort of narrow it down to a very specific problem statement that is actionable, that you can work on, that really impacts you at a community level. There is no point trying to solve, let's say, pollution for the whole world. You just won't be possible. But can you at least solve some part of pollution, whether it is, let's say, plastic wastage or water wastage? Can you at least solve that very specific problem in your city, in your community, or maybe in the society of buildings that you live in? Just these small impacts are really powerful to make a change worldwide. So that's the whole idea around investigation and ideation, where students do stakeholder analysis, user and persona analysis, mood mapping, emotion analysis to really identify the problem and whom are you really trying to solve this problem for. So who's that target audience? You then move into the next two phases, which is solutioning. And here you get to build a prototype and a minimum viable product which targets to solve that problem statement. We provide you with access to the best of breed industry tools throughout the whole program. So if it is during the research phase, you will get to work with an AI assisted tool called Perplexity AI, which is increasingly being used in the job place for doing research, identifying reports, and really figure out what kind of solutions already exist so that you can think of new solutions to address the problem. You get to work with products like MyroBoard, which is a highly collaborative tool where you all get to work with each other and collaborate with each other. And then during the solutioning phase, an example of a tool you will use is Imagine AI, which helps you develop persona analysis, or with Figma, which is an industry tool used by designers, both product and service designers, to develop products and services. And you get to build a storyboard, wireframes, and eventually your minimum viable product. So there is a series of tools, around 7, 8 of them, all industry-wide used tools, some of them AI assisted, that helps you through this project to make you become much more productive, creative, as you go about solving the problem and creating a solution. At the end of the program, all of you will get a certificate by Singapore Biodesign, which is Stanford University's global affiliate and truly a world-leading institution when it comes to design thinking. And this certificate will be signed by Professor Chris Shen himself, who is the professor at Stanford University and has designed this whole program. What will you gain from this program? Now, several things, but 3 of them at least are: 1, you will get a digital skills passport. So this is not just about trying to solve a program and come up with a product, but we want you to be able to develop skills. That's the whole purpose of Lumi. Develop skills around entrepreneurship, AI, technology, as well as design. And underneath these three pillars of skills are three sub-skills. And so there are these 9 skills that you get measured and tracked upon. And this skills passport will show that evidence of the proficiency or mastery levels along these 9 sub-skills. And this becomes a really powerful way for you to demonstrate evidence of these skills, whether when you're applying for college applications, for internship applications, or for job applications. Of course, you would have developed a tech-enabled solution based on the problem that you wanted to tackle, a real-world problem that you wanted to tackle. And I already mentioned about the certificate accredited by Singapore Biodesign, which is a Stanford University global affiliate. Won't spend too much time on this slide, but I already mentioned this point around 9 sub-skills that we measure. These 9 sub-skills are grouped under AI, entrepreneurship, and values. But the 9 sub-skills, just to give you a sense of when it comes to entrepreneurship, it's skills like storytelling, pitching your idea, which is very important, not just if you're an entrepreneur, but also when you join the corporate sector, when you think of an idea or a project, how do you present it to your manager, such that you get sufficient budget to then work on. So storytelling is a really, really powerful skill that we all ought to learn for ourselves. Prototyping and problem solving are the other 2 skills under entrepreneurship. Within AI, it's skills like productivity, creativity, and agile learning. And all this is based on a foundation of skills of resilience, critical thinking, and how much of data are you using to inform the development of your solution. Lumi is not a program that was just created out of thin air. There is actually a strong evidence base and research behind Lumi. And Dr. Christopher Shen was part of this research done by Stanford University 21 years ago, where they implemented this program with university students and came up with some really outstanding outcomes as a result. So Chris, really, his philosophy was, if this sort of a program can work with students in university, why are we waiting until university to deliver such a program, a design thinking program, a practice-oriented education that uses interdisciplinary education to solve real-world problems? How about we bring it down to high school students so that they are already starting on building the skills as early as possible, and they have now sufficient time to really build that muscle so that by the time they come to university, well, they are ready actually for the rigor of college and career. So that is the primary research and the philosophy of having started Lumi. Our participants, so any student who goes through a Lumi program, we refer to them as luminaries. We are really, really proud to have seen the kind of universities that they have gotten placed at. You can see the sort of pedigree of universities that are on the slide, from the likes of London School of Economics. Anushka, who has joined over here, is in the middle of the slide, University of Toronto, Johns Hopkins, Cardiff, etc. Our real goal actually is to help you build skills. But once you build these skills, then we find that it's very easy for you to then explain how you went about building these skills in your college applications. And so I personally am not really surprised to see how these students have been able to secure admission at such top universities, because they have worked on something that these college admission officers are looking for. And that is, how are you applying what you have learned in the classroom to solve real world problems? And those real world problems could be solved within the classroom itself. While I'm over here trying to talk to you about Lumi, and there are a variety of other programs out there that you ought to research and find which is the good fit program for you. But in a nutshell, doing programs like Lumi gives you that opportunity to work on real world problems, which is what universities are looking for. You've heard me talk a bit right now, so I'll just take a pause so that you can hear from someone else. Anushka, since she has joined us here. And perhaps, Anushka, you can really explain to us in detail how you used Lumi in your college application form. And then I'll just walk through a couple more slides after that.
Yeah, for sure. So in my application process, I described my Lumi project as a transformative experience that taught me essential skills in research, teamwork, and problem solving. I also detailed how we created a comprehensive health information website, which was a solution or the venture that we chose to go into, which addressed significant gaps in health education and provided a safe space for students to voice their concerns anonymously. This project had a positive impact on community by making crucial health information more accessible and fostering an environment where students felt supported. I also emphasized on the innovation aspects of the project, such as our use of diverse health topics and the integration of student feedback mechanisms. I highlighted how these elements aligned with my academic and career goals, which demonstrated my commitment to health education and my ability to apply theoretical knowledge in practical and impactful ways. And furthermore, I also mentioned the Lumi project in my CV and personal statements, which attracted a considerable interest during my university interviews. The interviewers were particularly keen on learning about the whole process and the outcomes of the project, and they had asked detailed questions about my role, the challenges we faced, and how we overcame them. Discussing this experience really allowed me to showcase my skills and passion for my health-related uh, issues that I was applying to university for. And additionally, I also brought up the Lumi experience during my on-campus interviews for various positions, where it helped me to illustrate my practical experience and my readiness to contribute to the university life. And not just that, I also highlighted that Lumi also helped me a lot with understanding how to research well and how to understand which information is a reliable and the most applicable for the project that I was currently working under. And that's how I describe Lumi in most of my application processes.
Wonderful. Thanks, Anushka. I'm sure the students who have joined us will probably have some more questions for you. But just in the interest of time, let me just complete a few more slides, and then we will open it up to a general Q&A. And so, Anushka not just went through the whole Lumi program as a student, but she's now one of our innovation facilitators. And we're noticing a very interesting virtuous loop that Lumi is creating, where students such as yourselves go and participate through the Lumi program. And then after you get to university, what we're now noticing is the students are coming back to us and asking to participate as innovation facilitators. And you get paid to facilitate for future batches. So what a wonderful way to develop skills and then come back to teach those skills that you learned to future batches and get paid as a result. So in my opinion, that's a great ROI on the investment of the education you're making. But what's more is that our innovation facilitators get to spend around 3 or 4 years with us. And then we are so proud to see them secure jobs at coveted companies worldwide. So some of our innovation facilitators have gone on to join companies like Microsoft, McKinsey and Company. At the bottom of there is Michelle, who is now a UN SDG educator at Harvard University, as well as University of Alberta in Canada. And some of these others have gone on to join healthcare companies, AI tech companies, as well as investment banking firms. So really, really proud to see the opportunities that, in my opinion, Lumi is delivering, not just you as a student, but when you come back as an innovation facilitator to then really open you up to the job marketplace. During the course of the program, you will not only just be working with innovation facilitators, but we bring global industry experts to mentor and guide you as you go about solving the problem that is of interest to you and as you go about developing the solution. So these people come and really bring their practical experience, and we bring people no other than those with immense years of experience in a variety of industries, so ranging from management consulting, education, sustainability, food, agriculture, hospitality, and financial services. These are just 4 that you see on the slide, but we bring a lot of other global industry experts to really help you during the whole project. And at the end of the project, you get to do a capstone presentation. And that capstone presentation is presented to a panel of judges that is made up of, again, global industry experts who will provide you with further guidance or feedback on your overall project. So a really great way to really take advantage of meeting industry experts. I'm sure you all understand the value of networking and really building networks with really successful professional people so that they can then guide you on your way to your career. So that's another benefit that you get through the Lumi program. Won't spend too much time on this, but this was just to showcase some examples of solutions that students have gone on to build around the world. These solutions have ranged from sustainability to saving on food wastage and water wastage. But you can see sort of like the variety of students and the different countries and kind of the different age groups of students that we worked with. If I've not mentioned this before, but we work with students from 10 to 25 years old. So this will be middle school students, high school students, university students, and as well as fresh graduates who have gone on to take on their first jobs. Very humbled to have been recognized by some really serious organizations out there. For example, 100 a couple of months ago has recognized Lumi as one like gamifying learning. The Commonwealth, after having noticed Lumi, has gone on to showcase our luminaries as well as the solutions at the United Nations COP events, which, if you don't know about it, is a global platform where government and corporate leaders get together and kind of discuss matters around sustainability and climate change, but they also get to then see the students themselves and what kind of solutions the students are recommending that the governments and corporates think through and implement at a large scale in their various countries or worldwide. So what a wonderful way to get really recognized by an organization as large as the Commonwealth, who's then putting you all in front of pretty much the whole world. Furthermore, a lot of our students and their solutions have gone on to participate in the World Series of Innovation that is held by an organization called NFTE. And some of our students have gone on to rank in the top 10 of this competition, which is another kind of level of recognition that you can get. So I think this is my last slide, but why would one consider Lumi for your future? And again, it is this. In my opinion, skills like leadership, entrepreneurship, these are skills that can't just be taught through a course or just through a certain period of time. You can learn certain frameworks, you can learn certain mental models, so you can learn certain theoretical concepts. But the only way to really build, it's like an Olympian who's trying to practice for the swimming competition. That practice every day for many years until they're ready to compete at the highest level. Skills like leadership and entrepreneurship are exactly that. You need time to build that skills, and you need to be practicing it over and over again. So what Lumi does is it gives you that opportunity to really start early to build that skill and prepare you for at least college and career. There's a level of depth that's involved over here. You're not just solving some kind of project that has been thought of by a person, but real world problems that humanity is facing. And my favorite factor is this, which is the opportunity to return to me as an innovation facilitator, where you get to teach. And there is no better way of learning anything if you're able to teach and make sure whoever you're teaching is understanding what you're explaining. That to me is the hallmark of you having mastered that skill or content. I'll pause over there. That's the end of my presentation, at least. But I want to hear from Anushka just one more time around the role as an innovation facilitator. Anushka, why did you return to Lumi to be an innovation facilitator?
So when I was doing the project itself, I was really, really fascinated with the idea of facilitation because of the facilitator who was in charge of our specific quest. I really just enjoyed the way that Lumi preaches a Socratic way of teaching rather than a student-teacher teaching. So I actually had the opportunity to think, which is what made me want to come back and do the same and be that same person for other students. And that specific facilitator also inspired me to continue in my specific field, which is health studies. And I cannot be any happier returning back to Lumi as an innovation facilitator.
Thanks, Anushka. And with that, I'll pass this over to Shanza. I'm sorry, Shanza, I took a little bit more time than you wanted me to, but I hope we were able to cover the length and breadth of Lumi to the students.
No, Harish, not a problem at all. I mean, it's honestly been riveting to listen to how the program works, as well as accolades and recognition that Lumi has got from, the top organizations around the world. I have been getting a couple of questions privately, but I would encourage students, don't be shy. You can feel to put it directly in the chat box, but and I will make sure to ask Harish your questions. Harish, some of the kids do have questions coming in, but before I take that one that I already have is a student who is expressing concern that it's without what seems to be a formal kind of structure. It seems to be almost like an intimidating program. Another question that I've received, so I'll let you answer that. I'll throw two your way, and then I'll put more through. Is can you please share information about the admission process? What are the fees for the whole course? I think many students are thinking about that as well. I don't know if you have a slide on that or there's something that the students can take away with them. I think that would be useful too.
Okay. Let me address that first question because that is really what Lumi is not about, which is to create an intimidating space. And we have a student over here, Anushka, who can talk to that. But the primary principle of Lumi is to put the student in the forefront and really get you to the table and make sure that your voice matters and that your opinions around solving problems does matter. When I talk about Socratic approach, it doesn't mean that you're on your own trying to solve a problem. You are guided by an innovation facilitator. And this is actually a highly structured program, which we call a design thinking curriculum that's designed by a university as well known as Stanford University. It doesn't get bigger than that in terms of who has designed this program. So you get to work with innovation facilitators who are actually in age really close to you, and so you get to work with really like-minded peers actually through the whole process. What Socratic means is that you have the opportunity to take charge on what problem you want to solve. If you don't know what to do, that's what the innovation facilitator's role is out there, to help you come up with ideas and suggestions. Now, we also equip you with real tools to help you come up with ideas as well. So Perplexity AI, which I mentioned as an example, you'll spend some time with that tool and we will provide you with how to practice on that tool, etc., to really think of such ideas. So it is actually a highly curated and structured curriculum that is delivered by innovation facilitators who are near age peers to yourselves. And it's actually a fun place to learn. When 100 gave us that accolade, they identified us as actually one of the most fun places to learn because we are actually gamifying learning. That is actually the title we earned. So I hope I'm resting your fears about this being an intimidating program. It is actually meant to be the exact opposite, where you actually have fun working with your own peers and then working with an innovation facilitator who is not this teacher or an instructor, but someone who gets to work with you on a frequent basis. Anushka, you are both a student and you're an innovation facilitator. How will you allay a fear that a student has just brought about this being an intimidating program?
Honestly, I find it really tough to work with new people and working in new environments. And I would just say Lumi was completely opposite of that. I was so comfortable in not only expressing my opinions, and I was also able to get my thoughts and anything that I feel like towards my project that can be beneficial, that may be right or wrong, to be further, pushed ahead by the innovation facilitator. Lumi is all about like a fostering environment just to make you grow and to make you think more critically about real world problems. So, and as an innovation facilitator, going through all of my training, I've also learned to make it a more, encouraging environment for everyone to speak. And, there are different personalities that come into Lumi itself, but I would not say that it's intimidating at all. I wouldn't have returned if that was the case. I would say it's very comforting. And yeah.
I'll also add that because I've been in your situation as a student. I was a highly introvert student, and I was very comfortable actually in an environment where teachers were teaching me and telling me what to do, and I excelled in it. But when I got to college, I really realized that I was not prepared for the rigor of college, where when you're in college, you're actually working with your fellow students. It's class discussions, it's seminars, it's writing papers and doing research, and that's what's really preparing you for the career. So Lumi is this very interesting program that kind of prepares you for those levels of skills as well. Shans, I hope I addressed that question, and I'm ready to move to the second question, which is around program schedule.
So it's not just about program schedule, Harish. We also have questions. If you could elaborate on what is the admissions process for students who are interested in applying to Lumi? What are the fees for the course? The logistics, the nuts and bolts of the process.
Yeah, I did actually have a slide over there, but I actually wanted to understand more from this group because I'm presuming most of you are from Pakistan, and I'm sorry, but my knowledge about the academic calendar of Pakistan is quite limited. But how long is your summer break? Does it happen during the months of July and August?
So most schools, everyone's definitely out during the month of July. I would say mid-June onwards, students are out. And in August, it depends on which school you're attending. Some schools will be starting around the 15th of August. Others would start around at the end of August. So it will vary from school to school.
Perfect. The reason I just asked this question was I did a webinar that was addressing students in another country, and their summer break is in different months. So when I actually put dates on a slide, they're like, oh, we can't apply for Lumi. And that was the takeaway because the dates were not aligning with their summer break. But actually, Lumi tailors its programs to its students. But it's great to know that your summer break actually falls during the month of July and August, because actually, on that front, why don't I just pull out the slide so you can see the dates of our standard program dates. Shanza, let me know if you can see the slide.
I can see the slide.
Okay. So these are the available program dates that we have for the month of July and August. When I started talking about this program, remember I told you that there were 3 ways this program is implemented. One is over 15 weeks, over 8 weeks, and then the third one is a 1 week long program. So for the summer, July and August, over these dates, we are offering 4 weeks, 4 windows where you can get to participate in the Lumi program. So the first cohort can start on July 22nd, and their program will end by July 27th. A new team you can select any one of these 4 start dates, and you get to complete the program within a week long. But remember, if you are opting for this week long program, then it is sort of like a hackathon style where you have to spend a morning and afternoon with the live sessions with the innovation facilitator. And then in the later half of the day or early evening, there will be some kind of homework or offline activities you will have to do. So you will have to really commit a large portion of each of the 5 days during this program, should you choose this format. but it's only 5 days, and after the on the 6th day you're done with the presentation and you've gone through the whole Lumi program. So that's the benefit of going through a 1 week long program, is you're not at it for 15 weeks, which is a really long time. And this is one of our most popular format of the program, especially among students who have to do a lot of work. They have all these other programs they want to get enrolled in. And so that's why we have created this week-long format based on feedback that we have heard from students and parents. To register to the program, I can share with you a link. It's a very simple link, www.lumi.network. And there you get to our website where you can get to a button that says apply now. And there's a very simple registration form where you can select one of these 4 dates that you want to participate in. And then it takes you to a payment page where you get to pay the admission fees. What is the admission fees? So this program's sticker price, so our published price is $800 per student for the whole program. But due to our partnership with Ion Ivy, I'm really happy to offer you a 40% discount. So if you use this coupon code IONIV40, then you will get a price reduction of 40% on that $800. So you get to pay $480 for the whole program. And for $480, what you see, that list of benefits, you get all those benefits. That certificate, the access to build a network with global industry experts, the future skills passport that's accredited by Singapore Biodesign. You have gone on to build out an innovation on your own. If your solution is very strong, then you will get showcased by the Commonwealth at these global events or at the NFT's global competition. And last but not the least, Anushka is a living example of how she stood out in her college admissions by talking about Lumi and the program in her application. We do offer an in-person program, but that's restricted to UK and UAE only. But for the rest of the world, it's a virtual program. And for students through Ion Ivy, if you use that coupon code, you get 40% off, which is $480.
So Harish, I mean, first of all, very grateful that you are giving our students this opportunity, and particularly the great discount that these students can avail for everything that they're going to get out of this program. The reason, and our students know this, the reason when we partner or bring in someone to showcase their particular programs is because we really feel that this will help you with university applications, and of course your learning as well. So guys, I mean, this is a phenomenal deal in that sense that you're getting. I have a few other questions that have popped up. I'm going to give the administrative question first because it's linked with the money matters you're talking about. Is there any scholarship available on top of the discount, Harish, for students? I guess they haven't put this in. It's and feel free to elaborate on this, Subhan. Is this either based on merit or need? Are there any other scholarships available on top of the discount that you've mentioned? And another one perhaps that you can address as well. Can you give more examples of what sort of problems luminaries have and can address?
Okay. So this 40% discount in itself, in my opinion, is a scholarship. If you're looking for full financial aid, we do have a very important component in our mission, which is access and equity. So for every 10 students that pay the full price program, we sponsor 20%, that is two students out of every 10 students, to go through this program fully free. But that will be on a need basis, and you will need to showcase sort of your financial background in order to earn that. So we do, Shanza, offer the program at no cost to certain students who really demonstrate that need. But otherwise, the whole reason of bringing it down to this price point from 800 is it. I was actually worried that when people hear such a large discount offer, then they would question the quality of the program. And you can see what's behind this program, the kind of quality of the founders, the program developer, and then kind of the output that comes out of it. That's what I can respond on the scholarship front. So we do cover for every 10 students who pay the program, 2 students for free, but we're going to have to like figure out how to get to that stage, working with all your students. Sorry, I forget your second half of the
No,
question.
thank you for that clarification. And once again, I really think this program is worth that investment. I intend to be enrolling my own son. He doesn't know that yet. And the second question is, can you give more examples of what sort of problems luminaries have and can address?
Yeah. Okay. So the most popular topics that luminaries have gone on to address are shaping the cities of future. So that tends to be related to pollution related topics, how to reduce plastic wastage, how to improve water quality, how do you reduce water wastage. So, kind of topics in that realm of problem space. Another popular topic is around health, which is what Anushka went on to solve for her Lumi quest. So health, both physical and mental health. Maybe I'll ask Anushka to talk more about her project. And then we have programs around cybersecurity. That's a popular topic that's recently coming up that students are interested in solving. And shoot, I'm forgetting a fourth one. Yeah, climate change. Climate change is another kind of related topic to sustainability that students solve. Again, these are problems that you will come up yourself to want to solve, and it'll be as you will yourself come up with a very specific problem statement, which will be, hi, I live in Islamabad and I'm in the society I live in this society, and in this society we are wasting so much water, and here's the idea I want to implement in order to save water shortages. This is just one example. Anushka, why don't you talk about your project that you yourself worked on?
Yeah, I'll just go give you a brief overview about what I've done. Our group wanted to focus more about health information, the lack of health information at that time. And this was the time when COVID was a big issue, and a lot of the information that was spread around the internet was very false, such as homemade remedies that can somehow be a cure for COVID. So keeping that in mind, we focused on 3 main sections within the health topics, such as mental health, physical health, sports health, in a better way to put it, and sexual health. And we also implemented a section within our website where students from different schools can actually come in and voice different opinions that they may have that the school isn't able to address, such as bullying. And we were kind of the middleman between the student and the school to address these problems and come to a solution. So it was a completely anonymous thing. And I worked with a group of 3. We were a group of 3. One was from the UK, who's also an innovation facilitator now, and then the other one was from South America. So I got to work with a lot of different backgrounds and come up with information that not only is applicable to Dubai, where I am currently, but all over the world.
Another example of a project that was showcased in the slide, it was called Food Docs, and these 2 young gentlemen found out that corporate chains, I'm talking about these big groceries and these places where you go and buy food, they throw away a lot of food, especially the food that is very near close to expiry date. And that food is very edible. It's you don't need to throw it. You can eat it, consume it, and it will not harm your health. So what they decided to do was create a marketplace wherein they connected these large corporate chains to the local groceries in their communities. That way, the corporate chains, instead of throwing away the food, they would sell that food at a high discount to the local groceries, who can then pass on that savings to their local neighborhoods. So this was a way of saving food, not wasting basically food, and also being able to pass on food savings, cost savings on food to their local communities. A win-win kind of situation. It's problems and solutions like this that students come up yourselves. You will be coming up with these problems yourselves, and you'll be working in a team of 10. And so the 10 of you will be working together collaboratively and coming up with these problems on what you want to solve. And then you split off into smaller teams to identify so that multiple solutions can be identified to that same problem statement. So a minimum of 2 solutions comes out of each cohort of 10 students.
Thank you so much for that, Harish. I think we have time for just one more question and we can wrap up. Guys, once again, if you have any additional questions that we're unable to answer in the time allotted, Harish, if you could afterwards, please leave a contact email number in the chat box. We will make sure to also share it with everyone who has registered. But on a closing note, even with a well-designed program, there could be downsides to consider. For example, is there a cost involved? We've spoken about that. Does it require significant time commitment? We've spoken about that as well. This is not criticism necessarily, but these could be factors to consider as a student before I join Lumi. So I believe we've kind of covered the different aspects of the cost. And yes, it is an investment, but I think it is a worthwhile investment, particularly given the benefits of possibly presenting if your work is good enough at a COP event or at other universities. So once again, guys, education is an investment. That's where we are. But I really think that there is a lot that we can take away from Lumi, and I encourage you to visit their website and reach out to Harish if you have any further questions. With that, I wish everyone an advanced Eid Mubarak, and Harish and particularly Anushka, thank you so much for joining us on your downtime during summer vacation. I really appreciate it. And Harish, I am so very grateful for you to give information about this program to our students. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Shanza, for this opportunity. Eid Mubarak to everyone. And if you have any further follow-ups, feel free to drop an email at hello@lumi.network, or you can reach out to me directly at harish@lumi.network. And I've dropped both email addresses in the chat section, and Anushka has shared a link to our company website. Just visit our website, especially the homepage. There is a corporate video right in the top of the homepage. It's a 3-minute video. Go through it, and you'll get maybe some more information about the program, and you will get to hear directly from the founders of the program in that video.
Excellent. Once again, thank you so very much, Harish and Anushka, and good day, everyone, or good evening, rather, from here in Lahore, and wishing everyone a lovely Eid break. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.